Okay, folks, we're back. This is Rogue Dungeon, Part 3. I am the Wizard from Wizard of Mo Games, and we're at the Wizard's Table. We have completed 2 levels of the dungeon, and before I left last time, I did not clear out these level 2 monsters. We have moved down to level 3, and we are going to add the level 3 bad guys here. Who knows what we're going to get. Let's go ahead and just shuffle this up real quick. Actually, we've already encountered the imp, so we're not going to mess with him, are we? Alright, so there's our level 3 guys. And here we go. It looks like as soon as we walk in, we're going to have a red room encounter. To recap where I am, I have 3 health out of 7. I have 4 experience. I have a +1 hero attack value because of my sellsword. And I'm dealing 3 damage currently because I have 3 of the blue weapons, which are related to intellect, and that's what my sorcerer's main ability is. I have a skeleton with me. Whenever I make a strength check, it's always considered at least 5, and I could discard him to block any damage. So I'm currently at 4. Once I reach 5, the skeleton's no longer useful. And then I have a camping gear, 1 left. This was part of the starting where you pull from this deck. You start with 3 camps. This is where you're able to heal, and you roll a die 6 + 1. If you roll less than the current dungeon level, you're going to encounter a random monster as well. So I'm not sure if there's any more of these camping gears in the deck or not. So I'm trying to hold on to it. I do have a scroll of healing that I could use, and I have a luck scroll. The healing will allow me to roll a die 6 and add 1. Just gain it in health, no random monster or anything. The luck will allow me to discard to pass any ability check even after I roll. And fortunately, I had an ability check at the end of last round, and I didn't need to use it. I also have a potion of strength, which if my strength is below 7, I can discard this to gain 1 strength, and then for the rest of that turn, or that room, my strength will be considered a 7. So it's a temporary boon. I get it, and then I get the temporary bonus, but it will remain up 1. I need 1 more intellect to open up the use of my fireball. And I've already used my animate dead, which is a level 3 intellect. I could buy it back for 5 experience, but it allows me to pull the skeleton out of that deck, and I don't think there's more than 1. I don't need a 10 strength, for anything, so I'm not going to buy that back. But this fireball looks pretty enticing. If I can get my intellect up, I'll be able to cast it by discarding to inflict 1 die 6 + 1 damage. And we already know that level 3s, this one had 7 hit points. That would be nice. So here we go. I'm going to step in, and we're immediately on a red gem. And we know from past experience that red gems usually equal combat. So we're going to pull the red gem card. We're going to flip it. It's an encounter. Draw 1 monster and resolve combat. Well, that monster is going to come off this level 3 deck, and let's see what we get. Boom. A giant cobra. That first level dungeon, this was the 2nd level. I discarded it over here. I thought I put it on the bottom, but I don't want to just keep cycling through these things. We're trying to get to the boss. So this giant cobra is worth 3 experience. It has a special. If I roll a 5, I'm poisoned. So we take a quick glance at the poison special ability. Says hero loses 1 strength. Ooh, that's not good. Fortunately, if I did lose down to 3, I would still be able to do my 3 damage, because my damage is only as much as my lowest ability. And this would give me that strength back if I needed it. But you could roll that multiple times. He has 5 hit points, an attack value of 10, and he does 3 regular damage. It looks like there are a couple of things that might do something with the snake, maybe a scroll, and maybe it looks like a flute or something like that, which I do not have any of those, so they are for naught. So I will I did look up from last episode about the entanglement and the evade. Evade is if you decided to go, if you reveal the monster and you didn't want to fight it, each member of the party would have to roll an evade roll and roll less than the monster's level. Well, the monster's level is, well, this one is equal. It's a level 3 monster, but it has 3 experience. So I think it's basically roll less than what its experience cost is. I think that's the monster level. And then you could evade it. You would discard the monster and you would not get any ill effects or anything like that. But if you're entangled, you cannot evade the monster. And that was a question that came up. I never became entangled, so it didn't matter the outcome. That was one of my boffed ones where I should have had 3 out there, and that's when this imp came out and everything. But I think we resolved it and took care of everything. I teleported away and saved myself. So here we are. We've got a giant cobra, and it looks like we're going to go into combat. I don't have anything here that's going to give me any specials. If I pick up another experience point, I'd be able to cast that fireball. So I'm going to go ahead and roll against him. I currently have a +5 to my roll, and I need a 10 or better to beat him. And I roll a 1. All right, people. A 1 is always a miss to the monster and always a hit on me. And a hit on me is worth 3 damage. Hoo-wee. What am I going to do? I only have 3 health. So I'm going to have to get rid of my skeleton. He's the one that boosts my strength value to 5. I'm currently at 4. If I become poisoned, I'll go down a bit, but I do have the potion of strength. So I'm going to discard him to block any damage. So I will block the 3 damage that are coming to me. And the old skeleton will go back to this deck. Now, if I wanted to bring this animate dead back, I could do it and defeat a monster and turn it into a skeleton. I have to... Now, if I try to evade the monster and I fail, they get +1 attack value the next turn, and I have to target them. So if there were multiple, I would have to fight him, and he would be more powerful because I tried to get away from him. Sort of like an attack of opportunity. I don't know. I think what I'm going to do is use this scroll of healing. And I'm going to discard this, choose any hero myself to gain die 6 + 1 health. So let's roll it. Oh my goodness. A 1. So I'm gaining 2 to 5. But at least I won't die if the giant cobra hits me. My rolls on this, my personal 6-sided die, have not been very well. So I discard that. Sorry. Bad scroll. Now, let's go again. That's a little better. I've got a 6 + 4 + 1 for my sellsword. That's 11. He has an attack of 10. So I get through and hit him for a whopping 3 points of damage. That's going to drop him down to 2. And I did not roll a 5 for the poison. So here we go. One more time. We rolled an 8. That's going to be more than enough to knock him out. Giant Cobra is gone. Giant Cobra offers 3 experience, which I'm liking a lot. And I get a loot card. Let's see what we get. A hunk of cheese. Discard to charm rats or evil cats. Or discard to gain 2 health. Okay. It's interesting. We'll keep it around. A chunk of cheese. It's in my backpack. Put it over here next to my camping gear. Well, now I have 7. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and spend 5 of it, dropping me down to 2 to bring that intellect up to 5 and making that fireball readied. It looks like I have reached a level of sorcery to where I can cast the fireball. I am now a force to be reckoned with, but I'm running low on stuff. I'm at 5 out of 7. I've only got 2 XP. That's not going to do anything for me. So I'm going to move from here, and it looks like I get to move to the trap room. And let's see what it is. This encounter did go away. And let's see what this does. A treasure mimic. Oh boy. So this is persistent. We're going to take a yellow, and we are sitting on the face-up one, so we will make this the face-up one. It says, you attempt to open a treasure chest. Make an intellect check. Fortunately, I just upped that. If I fail, I take damage equal to the dungeon level, which is 3. You see how this ramps up and tiers up? Everything is based on the level. If I was on level 1, I'd take a point. Level 2, 3, 4, 5. And so as you become more powerful and upgrade, all the rest of the stuff upgrades too, based on the level of the dungeon. That's pretty cool. But if I pass, I draw a loot card and gain 2 XP, then discard this room during the rest phase. And that's after everything's been encountered in the room. So it would not be persistent if I pass. If I fail, I could keep taking damage at it until I open it. Well, here's the intellect check at a +5. It is 7 plus 5 is 12. It is a pass. I'm going to get to discard this card, and I'm going to show that we did complete that trap. I'm going to draw a loot card, and I'm going to gain 2 XP. So let's get 2 XP back, putting us to 4 on the XP. And let's draw a loot. Oh, well, there you go. Alright, so you can see this is the dig through deck for camping gear, and this is a camping gear out of the loot deck. So they're in there. Great. Excellent. Good to know. So this is the basic one, and this is draw. This is, looks like it's the exact same card. They just have a different back on them. So starting gear and found it along the way. So now I'm feeling a lot better about healing. So I've got a 3-way here. I can go to a trap. Let's blow up and show you what that looks like. So I have a trap here. I could move this way, go to a blue, or this way to a green, or this way to a red, which is another combat. I think, and I can't remember, I think green is boon or bane, blue is specific item. We have a chunk of cheese. What does it say? Discard to charm rats, but that would be a combat. So, and then we have another trap over there, and we're still going to have to go this way to go around and get out. What do? Specific item. How do you get items? Traps and combats. We only have 2 combats left on this level. That purple could be a weapon. I'm currently at 3 damage, but I do have everything at least to the point of 4, so I could get another weapon. Let's move this way around and land on the blue. And let's see what that blue might have to offer. The different types of rooms. Blue is a wounded dwarf. Poor little guy. One hero may discard garlic, loaf of bread, hunk of cheese, ha! Or meaty rib, pint of ale, healing potion, or healing scroll to take the dwarf from the specialty deck. What is the dwarf gonna do for us? And the only other thing I could do with this is to charm rats or evil cats or gain 2 health. Let's get another sidekick here. Let's get another henchman. Let's discard this hunk of cheese and see what the dwarf is out of the specialty deck. What does the dwarf do? There he is. Doesn't look so wounded anymore. Looks like a chubby little dude. Strength is at least 5 for ability checks. Discard to block any damage. Well, same as a skeleton. Should have left him. He would have been a skeleton. Nah, I think this is just my special. So anybody else could get him and sort of get the same thing. Alright, if you had 2, it would not double up. Your strength would be at least 5, regardless of how many people told you. Okay, so I gave some cheese to the dwarf. He's feeling better, and he says, I'll help you bust down some doors or break some locks. And I say, okay, go sit next to the sellsword. We're going to move into the purple room. We're going to grab a purple token, and we're going to hope that we come up with some sort of magical weapon, maybe. Let's see what we got. Wounded dwarf is going to go back to the blue here. Sword in a stone. Well, maybe I'm going to need that strength. You attempt to free a magical sword stuck in a stone. Make a strength check. Pass if you discard a transmute rock to mud scroll, which I do not have. Pass. Take a weapon from the specialty deck or discard. I don't know that there's any weapons discarded except for that mace that I did earlier. And folks, this is just how it's working out, but I can see how it's designed. Use what you have to do what you got to do and survive. Notice my gear keeps dwindling and coming back up and dwindling and coming back up. So you got to use what you got. So let's go ahead and make a strength check. My strength is considered 5. So yeah, I might not get it. Let's see. And then I get to find something. It's a 1. It did not work. I have no luck. I can't re-roll. So I'm leaving a sword in the stone. And nobody else is going to get a chance to get it. Too bad. So I'm going to walk back out of here. So what is green? White is like traders, and green is like you need specific items, which I probably don't have them. Let's go fight somebody. Let's go back around here where I've already been. Let's go into a little combat room and see if I can pick up something. Maybe I'll find something that's useful. All right. So let's see what it says. Here's the room. The room is an encounter. Draw 1 monster and resolve combat. There's just a little slit of eyes right there. 1 monster and resolve combat. Level 3. It is a giant spider. That is classic rogue dungeon crawl. It has 3 experience. 6 is an ensnare, which we discussed that earlier. It has 5 health, an 11 attack value. It deals back 2 damage, and then it's got some sort of thing here which will allow you to charm it, which I do not have. It would say it on the card. It looks like it's a scroll of sorts. So, do I try to evade and make it stronger? I don't think so. I think we're going to have to go with what we got. I could discard a dwarf if I had to, because he is not really, I should have camped as well, maybe. No, I'm only at 7. I'm only 2 hit points down. I'm going to go ahead and attack and hope for the best. I'm getting currently a +5. And I roll a 6 plus 5 is 11. So here's how that works. It's a tie. I take damage from him, which is 2 points. And he takes damage from me, which is 3 points, putting him down to 2. I rolled a 6. I am ensnared. And look, their ensnare actually has a little web on it. I am ensnared. All right, so there's a process for this in the combat round. Roll, the first part of the combat round says roll to remove ensnare and sleep tokens. Sleep token. Awesome. Die 6 must be less than or equal to the level of the monster. What? And then heroes make a check, a strength check +2 for ensnare. And then you could try to invade. Roll to remove ensnare and sleep tokens. Die 6 must be less than the monster level for monsters if they're ensnared. Okay, but heroes make a check at +2 for +2 strength. So my strength is considered 5. I have a +2, so my strength is a 7. I rolled a 6. That is a success. So I am no longer ensnared. So you attempt to remove ensnares before you get into combat. Okay, great. So I got out of the webs, and now I get to roll an attack. And the attack is an 8, 13, 14. I think that's going to be enough to take him out. I'm dealing 3 damage, and he will be... I'll chop off all 8 legs. That is going to bring 3 experience points, which is awesome. It's also going to get me a loot card and another dead level 3. So what is loot? A helm. Now, I haven't had a helm yet. Helm of Intellect. Immediately gain 1 intellect. Strictly once per game. Discard to reduce damage taken by 2 health. Oh, so you keep it. And you immediately gain an intellect. Oh my. And then I could discard it, so that doesn't go away. And it's strictly once per game. So I guess if I could get the helm back, I couldn't just keep bringing it back and boosting my intellect. Okay, once per game. So we know we've done that. We have video proof. All right, so a combat has finished. Still doesn't look like it's going to... I'm only at 3 health. I think I need to camp. So let's go ahead and let's use the one that I started with, and then we'll hold on to that one. Let's go ahead and camp. Let's roll a die 6. Hopefully it's not less than 3. It's a 6 plus 1, so I gain 7 health. But my max is 7, so I have 3, so I'm going to end up at 7 health. You know, it would have been nice if I had upped my health first, because I would have gained... Oh, I'm going to say that. Let's do that. No, because I knew what I rolled. I'm going to have to bring other stuff up. All right. It only takes 5 to bring that up. I could have been at 8 health, but we'll hold off. and we'll go from here. I'm probably going to need that later. All right. I feel like the little kid in Never-Ending Story. No, I got to save it for later, his sandwich. All right. Excellent. So, a successful camp. Let's go this way and let's hit another trap just to see what's going to happen. It is swinging blades. No. You dodge your way down a hall of deadly swinging blades. Make an agility check. Okay. If you fail, you take damage equal to dungeon level. If you pass, you get 2 XP. Now, here's a question. Can I spend my XP and bump my agility right now to give me better chance of getting through this trap? I think I can. I think you can spend your XP. Spending XP may be spent at any time! Exclamation point in parentheses. Wow. Increase strength, agility, or intellect by 1. See the cost below. So that answers the question right there on the back of the book. Thank you so much. So I have 7. It's going to cost me 5. So I'm going to drop to 2. And I will up that agility to 5. Now we will make an agility check. With a 3 plus 5 is 8. Oh no, 3 less than. I rolled less than 5, I got it. So I pass, I get 2 experience, so it was well worth the cost. Putting me back up to 4. Once per game. Oh, and those blades are persistent. So they will keep swinging, and I'll have to run through them every time I go through here. So now I got a big choice to make. Do I go back in here for these nice shiny gem rooms, or do I go out, do a combat, a trap, and get out of this level? I think that I am ill-equipped to move on to level 4, so I'm going to have to backtrack. Let's go to the white room. And the white room says, a guild merchant. Nice. There is a guild merchant. Hello, Sorcerer. If you choose to trade, draw 5 loot cards and place them face up in this room. You may discard 2 loot cards or 1 treasure to take one of the loot cards on this room any number of times. Afterwards, discard the remaining loot cards on this room. Okay, Mr. Guild Merchant. He has 5 loot cards. You know I'm going to look at them. A rope. A lockpick. What is he, a thief? A potion of agility. That's the same thing for strength. If it's below 7, take this, increase it, and it counts as that. 4, camping gear. Okay, well, we know it's out there. And 5, another helm. Discard to reduce damage taken by 2 health. Is there anything out there that looks like you really need it, that would be worth getting rid of? Well, you know, I could get rid of my dwarf. I need that. If I use that potion of strength, I'm not going to need the dwarf anymore. Let's look and see. I'm going to check this out. The Helm of Intellect has already done its job. I would have to discard it to reduce damage by 2, which might be helpful. I do have a camping gear. I'm thinking, is the lockpick worth that? No, all that's going to do, it's not going to save me from a monster from dying. It's just going to allow me to find something really cool. The rope, that might help if I run into something that needs it. But is it worth a dwarf and a helm? I don't want to get rid of my luck. I can pass an ability check. This one's going to increase my strength. I have access to fireball. I'm not getting rid of a weapon. My sellsword is giving me +1. And I have a camping gear that I will probably have to use at some point in time. But I see that they keep coming up. But how many are in there? We don't know. But that agility, the free, it's basically worth 8 XP if I use it. I'm going to go ahead and discard the dwarf, who goes back to this deck. And this is the Helm of Intellect to take a potion of agility. Now I have the strength and the agility one. And if I need to pass a test, as long as they're below 7, I would gain 1 and have a 7 for the rest of the turn, which that's okay on the dwarf. I think that's all I can afford. Oh, by the way, it is a trade. So this would have gone over here because I've seen people trade, get stuff, and then trade that back in to get things like a treasure or this, that, and another. Sorry. But I don't think he gets the dwarf. So all of this stuff's going to get discarded anyway. And the guild merchant is going to flee the scene after fleecing me. And so let's go see what's in the green room. Is this the item specific stuff? And I really don't have anything. Green. Green says mystical fountain. You drink from a mystical fountain. If your health equals your vitality, well, it does. 7 and 7. Gain 1 vitality. Otherwise, gain D6 plus 1 health. Oh, wow. Oh. So I'm going to 8, and when you gain vitality, you gain. So I gained 1 point of health, but I also increased my maximum health on a mystical fountain. Well, thank you. Green, you did good. And green has been visited. So I can go back anywhere through here, but guess what I got to do? I got to go through the swinging blades. All right. Make an agility check. I'm going to drink the potion of agility. If it's below 7, discard this. Gain an agility, which will put me at 5. Nope, 6. But your agility is considered 7 for the current room. So I have an agility of 7, and I just upped up to 6. And I rolled an 8 plus my 7 is 15. It is a pass. It's gained 2 XP, but it's only once per game. I gained it last time. So I have moved beyond that room. And now my agility drops back to what it currently is. Now I have entered a red room, which will be a red room encounter. Encounter, draw 1 monster and resolve combat. All right. Here he is, folks. A ghoul. 3 experience. He has a special regeneration. If you roll a 6, regen. Let's read it. He gains 1d6 plus 1 health if he rolls regen. He has 5 health, attack value of 11. He hits for 2. It looks like something like holy water and turn undead. I have none of that stuff, so it's not going to work. So I gotta fight him and I gotta hit him hard. I can pass that. I can do this. Hey, guess what? I'm going to use my fireball on him. Just because I can. Discard to inflict 1d6 plus 1 damage. And I can buy it back for 5 XP. So I'm going to put it over there. And I'm going to do 1d6 plus 1 damage. It popped out, so it does 3 to him. So he is down to 2, which puts him in range for me to hit him once. Let's try it. Let's hit him. A 4 plus 6 is 10, plus 1 is 11. He hits me, and I hit him. We did not roll his regen number of 6. I rolled a 4, so we hit each other. He hits me for 2, so I will take 1, 2. I'm down to 6, but I hit him for 3, which takes him out. And since he has been ghoulified, I will gain 3 XP, which is 7. Very nice. And I will gain a loot. Goodbye, ghoulie. And here's the loot. Light. Discard to apply -1 monster attack value or -1 monster damage to a monster for 1 combat round. So I guess you lighting, blinding. I guess it's a I guess it's like a little light grenade. It blinds him, and you can stop lower his attack or lower his damage. But you can apply it instantly, so you can see what it does to his value after he rolls. Okay, that's cool. So I got my XP, and I got my loot. So I have another trap, and then I can get out. Let's see what it is. Spider web. Okay. And this is persistent, but should be clearing this zone shortly. You get caught in a spider's web. Make a strength check. If you fail, you discard an armor, treasure, or potion. Don't like that. If you pass, gain 2 XP once per game. Well, you know what I'm going to do beforehand is drink my potion of strength. If it's below 7, discard this, gain a strength, putting me at 5. And my strength is now 7 for the current room. So when I do my strength check on these spider webs, I'll have a 7. So a 9 and 7 is 16. A 7. I rolled a 9. That is not below. Like I'm mixing combat with ability checks. So let's go back and grab this luck scroll. Discard to pass any ability check even after the die roll. I failed. I needed to roll below 7, but I can discard this, and it's one of my specials to pass it. So I pass it, and I gain 2 XP. Look at me. I gained XP. I have 9 XP. Whew, that was close, but look at me. I'm sitting here on emptiness. So I'm going to go to the stairwell. before going down the stairwell, I'm going to spend 5 XP to get my fireball back. Do I have 7 yet? I don't, so I can't use that yet. I'm going to spend 5 XP to get my fireball. And we're going down, folks. So we're going to move to level 4. I want to take these level 3s that have all been harassing me. I'm going to move a level 4 into play. I'm going to move my 5 down here, my monsters down there. Put this level 3 in here. Done that. These persistent will go away. This card, we'll get rid of our white, our green, our purple, our blue, yellow, 2 reds. And we'll put us on the entrance stairs to level 4. I'll discard this. I think that I have done everything that needs to be done. I have 4 XP, which is going to currently get me nothing. I need 8 to get to level 6 strength, 12 for level 7 for agility and intellect. Of course, vitality is 5 per. I'm sitting at 4. I have a light spell that can sort of blind somebody for a turn. I do have my fireball back. I am dealing 3 damage. I have my cell swords giving me that +1 attack, which has helped me a lot. I have 6 out of 8 health, and I have just dropped into level 4. With that, we're going to go ahead and pause it. We'll be back for level 4. Until then, have a good time.